So, you want to make starter decks in Json Loader. You will need to go to this website for the first section of the video. And for either section, we will be getting our card names from here. For the manual section, I'm still using Atom. The file extension for this is _deck.jldr2. One file can contain multiple starter decks. Also, I'm unsure if you can edit the base game starter decks, but you can do it with cards. And I think I forgot to mention that in the last one. And the art size is 35 by 44 for starter decks. So, let's go head over to the generator and let me go onto the card names that text over here. So first we want to add the item, and then we want to give the starter deck its own name, which is what's used in-game for its name. So here we're gonna do rares. And then for this we can do rares dot png. And I'm just gonna do _starter so it can be unique. Because sometimes stuff can have multiple. So now we want to find our rares that we want to put into there, which can all be found on the GitHub that was linked at the beginning of the video. Or you should be able to just type it in. But not everything is listed on here. And part of the reason why is because I forgot to edit it to have everything. But for this, we're gonna have all rares in Act 1. And then if we click this, we can do mod edit as well. And that way we can grab them off of here. And note that you have to press this every time you want to add a mod added one. /1 that's not listed. And the way that the card names that text is set up is that it's in the card name and then the actual name in game. The actual name refers to its code name. And the reason why there's 3 Moth's Demands is because it's for each stage of it. I believe there might be a few more, but this is what we're going to stick with right now. So under the first one, you should have Mantis God, Amalgam, Amoeba, Ejirac, Hodag, Lice, Gek, Mothman underscore stage 1, Ouroboros, Aurelian the Snelk, which is the Long Elk. And then if we want to add another item, we can just hit add item. This one we're going to call talking cards. The icon texture will be called talkers underscore starter. .png. And then for cards, we're going to do the stoat. And make sure it says underscore talking afterward. And then the stunted wolf is wolf underscore talking. And then that's the 2 starter decks we're going to make. So then we go over here, copy this, make a new file, rename that file as soon as you're able to something like, go find my plugins folder real quick. New, and then we want to make new folder, or use the same folder as last time, and then we'll call this starters underscore deck dot jldr2. And the underscore deck is important because that's how it deciphers it as a starter deck. And then next we want to make the art for it, which can only be one solid color. For the tuckers, we're going to do a circle, and then at this part we're going to do this. And then this part we're going to do this. And then I know that does not look so hot. I'm going to do this, and then over here we're going to do this. And then we can put text in here if we want to, but you can always put whatever you want. Just note that you may have to resize it after you do so. And then we want to make sure it's slightly readable at least. We can just do this where it's just blah or something. And these pixels, I believe, should all be set over to black, but I am unsure if that is the case. I'm just gonna do this file, save as. I'm gonna find PNG, go over to our folder. And if you want to, you can just take it from here. Then we can go save that and then clear all of this out. And then we can go make the next one. Which for the next one, we're going to do a box looking one. If we can get the box to stay in the image, of course. And then we're going to go from here like so. And then paint this in. Oh yeah, also one thing to note, you do want to make sure your image is fully transparent, which is a thing that I forgot to do in the last one. And then we're gonna go put a line through the middle of this. And then we can paint either part in. I'm gonna paint the bottom in. And then the file save as rares underscore starters underscore starter. Again, sorry that I'm not doing as well on this one. I just am not in the best of moods right now. In the simplest terms, anyhow. Oops, ignore that, please. Just gonna close this out. Move this over here. That way it's not in the way. And then once that's there, you want to make sure that these are exactly the same. And then we can go start it up, and then it should be there. Hopefully. And also, eventually, we'll get onto the sigils and I'll whip up a few things beforehand and then show you how you can do it. But that's probably going to be the last few tutorials I do with the sigils, unless more stuff comes out afterward. Because I'm sure eventually more stuff will come out. By the looks of things, our decks did not have any errors. And these will only show up when you're in Casey's mod. New run. Continue. And then these are ours because we forgot to make them transparent. And I guess most of the icons don't have an Act 2 portrait. But they should all show up in game. And then we can just choose one of them, and then we should have it in game. I'm gonna choose the rares one so that we can test if we do get all 11 cards. Okay, for some reason, one of them became a pelt. Let's just double check that we have it set up right. And also, let me just double count. Yep, it's 10. When we truthfully had 11. So we're gonna reopen Atom. And open the starter decks.jldr2 and make sure all these are correct. Oh, wait. Well, just realized that's one of these are the AG which is that one. So it did work. Good. And then we can go test the other one. And then here's the talking cards. And they should have dialogue still. But we can easily test it by going to one of the notes. And note that each time you want to test starter deck, you gotta start a new run. Yep, it works. Alright, now time for the manual section. And also, do make sure that these are transparent so that your image actually shows up. File, new file. And then here we're gonna just steal this. And then we're gonna go empty this out. and then we go make our own name. And also, you may want to open the structure folder, which is in Manage95, and then there should be a starters underscore schema or something. Here it is. And this ain't the right one. Oops. File. Open file. It should be starter decks example. If there is an example for it. Because half the time there's not one. Which it looks like there's not one for this. Name is gonna be set to draft. And then icon texture will be called draft.png. Just gotta make sure I'm spelling these right. Yep. And then the next section is a list. Also, do make sure you put in the commas. Quote, cards. Dot, colon. Quote. And then we're just gonna go grab the pelts off of here. And then each one we want to have put separate and make sure they're not in the parentheses. And also, remember the commas. And then we're gonna make the texture for it. We're gonna go erase this. Why is my Krita lagging so hard? There. Pixel art, square. And then we're gonna do our best to write a trade with Lancel. And if we have to, we can do this. And the move tool, which will allow us to move this over. And then we're just gonna put the down here. Mainly because I'm lazy and don't see a way to fit it in. File. Save as. And then we're gonna label this as draft underscore starter.png. And then make sure that this is changed to underscore starter. In the correct case, too. And then we hope it shows up in the right folder, and it does. And then we're gonna save this as draft underscore starter. Underscore deck dot JLDR2. And then I just realized I forgot the transparency again. You want to delete the back layer, and then we can go and then say this. And I'm just gonna real quickly fix the other two from before. If it will allow me to. File. Save. Okay. File, open this. And then we also want to make sure this is solid black. And then we're gonna save this as the thing. Yes. And then we can now start the game. Okay, it looks like there was no errors with the new one. New run. Continue. And then if we had arrow, they're all there. Just none of them have portraits, sadly. Well, pretty much none of them have the card portraits. And it looks like they don't all fit onto the screen, which is sad. But then we can start a run to test out the deck and see if it works. And it does. Hey, Leshy, I still got 3. Bet you're not gonna let me trade them until there. Well, next time we're either gonna go over tribes, encounters, boss dialogue, or animated cards.